Hey guys, did you guys ever hear about the blind guy that walked into a bar? And a counter and a chair.
Oh my gosh, that's classic. Oh, I love that blind joke so much.
Thank you.
Of course. Hey, did you hear what the cafeteria gave us for lunch today?
No, what did you have for lunch? I taste ketchup and onion in the air. Landon!
The Senseless Podcast.
Before we start answering questions, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. While you're on our social media, drop us some questions in the comments that we can answer. Now back to the show. All right, welcome back. And Landon's done cutting the cheese. And if you are not familiar with our Senseless podcast, my name is Matt Collier, and I have anosmia, which means I can't smell.
And I'm Landon Bryson, and I have a really long name for my condition that I'm not going to say because I'm too lazy to, which means that I'm blind.
And this is the Senseless podcast where we answer questions about our inabilities to do such things. If you want to find out how we first learned about our disabilities, then you need to go back and watch episode 1.
I strongly recommend it.
It's a good one.
It is.
It's a little bit longer.
A little bit, but
But we have to establish, you know, the backstory.
Ourselves, what we've got.
Exactly. This time, we're going to answer some questions that we received from our viewers. So thank you very much. If you're watching, listening, please send us some more questions that we can answer for you guys. All right, Landon, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Do it.
You're born ready?
Not at all. Let's do it.
Not at all. Okay. So this question, and I actually kind of got this same question in my mind too when we were hanging out the other day.
Yep.
But
Are you able to see color?
So it's a pretty funny story, and I'll keep it short. I was in 7th grade. Shout out to all my 7th grade teachers. I loved all of you guys. And I was in math class, and it was my first block. And so I was using a brailler, which is, I call it a braille writer. It's this little typewriter with, it's like 6 keys on it, and it types in braille. It types on paper. And I needed a piece of paper, but we didn't have any cardstock. And that's like the standard braille paper you use is cardstock.
Okay.
So I asked my math teacher, Miss Graves, whoop, whoop, if I could get a piece of paper. And she gave me a piece of construction paper. And I looked down at this paper, and I was like, ew, why does it look like this? And they were like, it's orange. And I was like, orange sucks. And I realized, I could.
You just made a lot of Gamecock fans out there very happy, by the way.
I'm so glad because I've been raised knowing that Gamecocks is the better team. So I support you guys. No, it was very interesting. And honestly, I feel like the cool thing is that I feel like I've always been capable of seeing that stuff, but I never realized it until 7th grade. And that was a really cool thing for me. So yeah, I can see some colors. They have to be bright, but they can't be too bright. I thought a pair of blue jeans was black because the blue was too light. And when I held it up to like the light of my room in the morning, it didn't look blue to me. Blue is my favorite color, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know.
Awesome.
Blue is my favorite.
That's why we're good friends, bro.
Right. That's why we're here.
That's right.
That's why we're here today. But yeah, so I can't see colors. I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you had the chance to smell, would you take it?
I think it would be good to smell a lot of the things I hear people describe in good ways, right? Like when my kids come downstairs and they're like, oh, Dad, you're making pancakes, or, you're making bacon, they can tell and they get really hungry about it. And I love bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon?
I was going to say, who doesn't? Bacon's awesome.
So if it smells as good as it tastes, then I know I'm missing out. But, I'd love to be able to hug my wife and smell her hair. She jokes and says she gets to save a bunch of money because she doesn't have to buy perfume. But she still has to shower, is what, I tell her too. Can't be having flies around you.
Yeah, of course not.
So, I would say if I could, probably.
Yeah.
But if I had to, to make a decision right now, it wouldn't bother me to not have it come back. To be honest with you, just because I'm already used to it.
Used to it, yeah, for sure.
I'm years old, and that it's never bothered me, I guess.
Right.
So.
Right, for sure.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
All right, so another one that came in.
How do you navigate around school?
So I have a cane teacher, and if you can't really see this, this is my my cane.
We can see it. Yeah, you want me to hold it all the way up?
Yeah, that'd
Show
be
them the
better.
bottom of it there.
Oh my gosh!
There it is. Okay.
Okay, so canes can actually have different. They call them tips. They can have different tips, but I'll go into depth with that later. But anyways, yeah, I have a cane teacher, and she teaches me, how to do things as a blind individual with my cane. So like how to cross the street blind, or how to, walk, cross an intersection, and it's, different things that we're working on. And when I first started at the high school, we came in a few months before we had like, I came in 3 different days after school to tour the high school, but I was really confused, and we made a map of it, and it was like a 3D map type thing and it was like different textures of different, things like that, and things like this and things like that, what else. And so I used that map to kind of orient myself during those 3 days. And then when, the first week of us being here, if you guys don't remember, freshman orientation was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
so we couldn't go in, and we had already planned to go in before that and tour it, like a few days before that, and we couldn't because of the storm. Or was it storm?
Yeah, there was a hurricane.
Yeah, it was that's right. So we kind of just made a map the first week and started orienting myself there, and that's how I kind of picked up the school, and now I just do it solo.
Yeah, he's amazing. If you guys ever see him walking around, yeah, he does large sweeps with a cane, and he knocked some people down today, but what did you say right away?
Oh, usually what I say when I hit people with my cane or my arm, I'll just be like, sorry, I'm blind, and I'll just walk away. I won't even bat an eye.
Be honest, do you ever try to hit him again just for the heck of it?
It depends on who it is.
Okay.
There are certain people that I do all the time, and it's like they deserve it.
But yeah, he knows very well how to maneuver. It's pretty interesting. Probably better than I could with my eyes closed walking around the school. I'm serious. It's just amazing, how you know where to go, and you count them off. And he was like, "Oh, I know he started doing this where the palm tree was when we were walking by the Kate building."
Yeah.
And he was like, "The fronds right there," and you knew right where it was. And I was like, "Wow, that's awesome."
Well, that's honestly just because I've ran into it so many times.
But you still know where it is, by how many your steps. So it was pretty interesting to watch you do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you almost walked off the ledge one time. I did save your life there. You're welcome. You never thanked me, by the way. You never thanked me.
Mr. Collier.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving my life.
You are welcome, sir.
I could have died.
You could
falling off that 2-inch
maybe
curb.
just a real bad sprain or something.
Maybe. Or I could have got my shoes dirty. So a question for you.
Okay.
What is a time that not having a sense of smell was disastrous?
Yes. So one moment that's happened that sticks to mind real vividly was I was visiting my sister, and she had a gas stove, stovetop, and I let it was about to cook something. Mm-hmm. I noticed the water or whatever I was cooking wasn't boiling and wasn't cooking, and the flame went out.
Right.
And so I went to relight it, and she luckily came out of the back bedroom and could smell the gas all the way in the back. And she said, "Stop," because she saw me about to click it. And I don't know if that would have exploded everywhere. The house would have exploded.
Your twin sister?
No, I don't have a twin. My dad has a twin.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have an older
remember you
sister.
saying, didn't you say in the first episode that, your older sister was your sister and your mom were bloodhounds?
Oh yeah, they can smell really, really well.
Yeah.
They have a good sense of smell too. I don't know what they smell like, I should say. But they have a good sense of smell. And so she smelled the gas in the back bedroom and
Gotcha. Well, that's
stopped me before I
good.
tried to light
Yeah.
the burner again, and who knows what would have happened. It probably could have, I imagine, I mean, I see movies, but that's Hollywood, so
Right.
if that could have happened, but I imagine at least,
Like Final Destination?
yeah, something maybe like that. Maybe something, it would at
Like when
least
the tea
burned
kettle
in my face or
explodes and
something.
the teacher's like blown backwards. I don't know. I've only watched the movie once. I need to
Okay.
rewatch
I
it.
think I watched the first one, but not
Yeah,
any
I
of the
need
others.
to. That's what I'm talking about. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right. So this question, I think, was really a good one that came across.
Describe a time when you had to deal with a bully.
I honestly feel like there have been several times, you know, when I've had to deal with someone who isn't either intimidated or just thinks that I'm stupid for my blindness and who I am. I could definitely give you a lot of stories, but I think one story that, you know, is appropriate and, you know, that I feel like I can talk about freely.
Sure.
was it was actually in the it was actually in the line of Carowinds. This was like what, last year, 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. I don't know. Anyways, I do love Carowinds, and every year my grandmother will buy me and my siblings and cousins season passes.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, it's awesome. So we usually go there in the summer. We usually hang out in the water park, but sometimes we'll do the rides in the summer because most people are at the water park. So we have more of a chance of getting on the rides faster.
Right. So
it was one of those days, and I don't remember what ride it was, but we were in line, and there were these kids, and you know, my cousin Bella, who we love, by the way, I was holding her arm because the standard blind thing that you do when someone's guiding you, they call it sighted guide, you hold their elbow.
Okay.
And so I was holding her elbow, and this snarky little person, I don't know if it was a girl or a boy, was like, "Are you guys dating?" And I'm like, "No, this is my cousin. I'm blind." And, you know, but I did it a lot more casually than that. I was like, "No, this is my cousin. I'm blind." You know, in a lot nicer way. And later when we got on the roller coaster, Connor's my brother, and, you know, Bella, my cousin, they started talking, and they were waving their hands in front of your face the entire time. And I was like, of course they were. And, you know, it's like, because they were really testing to see if I was blind, and, you know, I could hear them laughing, but I couldn't hear why. I didn't know why they were laughing until later. And honestly, you know, my first instinct, I can't talk today. My first instinct is to fire back at people with a comment.
Sure.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a very inappropriate thing with my fingers at them. But then I was like, you know what? Who cares? I don't care what they think. I don't even know those people. It doesn't matter to me. And I just kind of moved on. And that's what a few years ago it was a lot worse because I was just a little kid. But that's kind of that's how I was raised to brush things off.
Sure.
And so that was my reaction. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't let that one moment with kids I don't even know hold me back from make me feel bad about being blind or anything.
Well, you know, and kudos to you, man. That's very big, you know, but I think you have every right to defend yourself in the right way, right? You know, when you're dealing with bullies and whatnot. And hopefully your cousin and brother may have said something and stood up for you too in the right way.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I feel like they definitely throughout my life, the people close to me have stood up for me, and sometimes in ways that I don't want them to, because it's like I can defend myself. And some people are definitely a little overprotective about the things that, you know, they're nervous about me doing, and I just kind of have to. I want to yell at them and be like, "Dude, let me do this," but I kind of have to understand they've been with me my whole life.
Yeah.
And they've seen all the good and bad moments, and I kind of just have to be really gentle about it. And that's why I'm glad that, you know, no matter how many times I do tell them, please let me do this, they still stand up for me in the right circumstances and in those right situations. Because that's something that not everybody has.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of helped me to, I guess, be who I am now, to know that I've had those people before.
That's awesome.
It's definitely great to have those people. But enough talking about me. Let's Sadly, let's move on. I'm a pretty great subject.
I know we could sit here. We don't have enough time, enough
Right?
SD
I could
cards
talk
to
about me for
record all
like
about you.
a month. What about you, honestly? Has there ever been a bully in your situation where, it's kind of been, I guess, I don't want to say life-changing, but, has there ever been a situation like that?
I mean, outside of, what I would call typical bullying, specific to my anosmia,
Yeah.
sure. So I can think of a couple times, last show I told you about how I have a large nose, which is kind of the irony there being that I don't have a sense of smell.
Right.
So you may have heard of people when you're little and you joke around, or people would joke around with little kids and go, "Oh, I've got your nose," and they take your
Yeah.
thumb and put it between their fingers and kind of act like they got your nose like that.
My papa used to do that when we were a lot younger.
So what a lot of people did for me was instead of the finger, they would just use their whole fist and be like, "I got your nose." So that was mostly like the aesthetic part of it.
Yeah.
Which is funny, and I kind of joke around about it now.
Right.
But I know that there were probably more harmless pranks too when I got older. I would, in college, my buddies, I think one time they put a fish in my dorm room or something to see if I knew about it, which the funny thing was I had no clue, and it kind of backfired because they lived in the same suite.
And they could smell it.
And they could smell it. So
gosh.
it didn't really necessarily, they were trying to get me.
That's what they get for trying to mess with success.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get me in trouble or, make it look like I wasn't cleaning up and get in trouble with the RA or something. But nothing.
Put jokes on them.
Yeah, the joke was on them because then they had to come find it and pull it out, and it was pretty nasty.
That does sound not good. I couldn't think of a word. I was like, I wanted to say that does sound not nasty, but it sounds nasty, and it came out before I could stop it, and I couldn't think of a word.
I didn't know if you wanted me to finish that sentence.
No,
for you or
I
not.
was like, I don't know. I couldn't think of a word.
I got you.
It happens occasionally.
So yeah, that's about it for the bully stuff for me. Nothing specific that way. I think
Right.
sometimes usually it backfires because it doesn't bother me that I can't smell.
Right.
In that situation.
And honestly, that's something that I feel like I have to work on as a person, because usually it doesn't bother me that I can't see, but it bothers me that I guess people think that people with, disabilities in general are, I was going to say aren't, and it came out wrong, are incapable
Sure.
of things. And like I said, I used to be a lot worse about it. Like a few years ago, little kids would ask why I had this in my hand, and I would flip out.
Oh, yeah.
And nowadays, I notice it, and I point it out, and I'm like, that's so cute that they asked about that. That's, oh my gosh. It doesn't really bug me as much anymore because it's like little kids don't know. And I love answering people's questions. That's why I love doing this.
It gives you a chance to educate.
Right.
Yeah.
I love answering those questions. I really do. But when people ask them in a rude way, they're like, or, they'll, like something people do, like waving their hands in front of my face. I can't stand it. I don't know why. I'm much better about it now. I'm much more independent about it now and much more, appropriate with how I handle things. But that is like one thing, like one of the few things that really kind of just gets on my nerves. It's like waving in front of my face. And I'll let it slide if it's like they meant to be a joke, like, it was funny. But if it's people that I don't know doing it, I'm just like, no, dude, back off.
Again, like, the people that can joke, but not the ones that don't.
Because they're people that I respect and stuff. I'm like, absolutely. I don't encourage it. But I'm not going to pitch a fit about it if you do it because it's just a joke. And I know that people who I respect, I know that they respect me for more than just being able to pull jokes on me. You know what I mean? And that's something that's real. That's like, again, I'm really glad I have those people in my life because not everyone does. And it's really something that I've been kind of blessed with is having those people.
That's awesome, man. I learn so much from you every time we talk. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty senseless out today. I'm going to start using that.
Now, see, I don't know if that works, man. We got to come up with something
we
better.
got to feel.
You're a smart guy. I know you got something better than that.
I'll sleep on it. Get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Send us your questions so we can answer them.
now senseless behind the scenes.
That was
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna be honest, dude.
Yeah.
My cane was right here, and it was here, and it was just
Oh, I don't know if it.
the entire time. And I'm like, dude, if that picked up on that, I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
That's gonna
Because-
sound like you're tooting the whole time.
Exactly, and it's crazy
And
because we
I'm
were just
not gonna-
talking about that.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna make sure that people know that you were tooting.
see, there are times when I appreciate you, and now is not.
No,
one of
that was
those
not
times.
one of them. Talk to me, Landon.
I'm here.
Are you sure?
No, not at all.
How do you know?
Or is
I don't,
anyone
I'm just
actually
talking.
ever here?
I mean, that depends on where here is.
You hit
I
stop
don't
before you
believe you.
pop.
I'm gonna check.
Huh?
I don't believe you. I'm gonna check.
believe you.
It's crazy.
I don't want to do this again.
Man, then what am I here?
I'm gonna accidentally yawn in the middle of the podcast.
Is it focused? It looks like it's out
I
of
don't.
focus. He was just going real wide swings with the cane and he smacked
I
somebody.
know he hit
When
me.
was this?
When we were coming back
He
from
hit
the
me. Right in the
program.
knee.
The program this morning, I was walking with
right.
you and you
Yes,
smacked somebody and
because you were
immediately you're like,
talking
my bad, I'm blind.
I do that in the hall all the time. Okay.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
I don't see you before Easter. Go ahead, 90 days.
See, I don't, he's weird like that.
I should do that. You hear my fingers on the chair?
I did, that sounded,
It did. It was very.
I thought you did for a second.
No, it was for real. Like, do you hear that? Like, like that's my finger on the chair.
Sure it is, Landon.
You'll find out in a second once
And
you
we'll-
smell the onions and ketchup.
I can't smell them, I gotta taste
That's
them in
right.
the
You'll
air.
find out in a second once you taste the ketchup and onions. You'll find out. To make sure you do this right, this is important. This is a classic blind joke. among
Please
us
explain
blind
to
jokes.
everybody that you're giving me permission. This was your
I am-
idea. I
it's
did
like a
not, I don't go
pass.
around saying,
I'm giving him
Blind
the blind
jokes.
joke pass.
okay.
So it's hair.
Stop.
That might be what I do. Okay.
We're gonna get like censored.
Well,
They're gonna censor us because we're making,
we're very
Inappropriate sounds.
inappropriate. You know what? They better be glad that these sounds are the ones that we're not
see,
making.
I really could pass gas and you would know what I had for lunch.
Now I feel like we should be censored. I loved it.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me turn this off before
Okay.
we say something we regret.
Yeah.
What did you say about your mom?
For